video we'll be taking a look at the Avenson Audio IsoGtr and IsoDI. Just to be clear, they were both sent to me for a review, but I'll do my best to take an honest look at them. So firstly, what are they? The IsoGtr is not just a DI. It's a DI, a three-way splitter and a reamp all-in-one. It has an XLR balanced output and an instrument level throughput, used as a straight through out to an amp, or can also be used as a summed input for stereo instruments, left-right keyboards, synths and so on. 3 transformer isolated outputs that can be used as a splitter out to multiple amps, and a Reamp XLR input, which can also use all the available transformer isolated outputs for reamping. So it's an all-in-one DI splitter and a reamp box. It's powered with any 7.5 to 9 volts DC power supplies, either polarity center negative or center positive. So you can use your standard Boss style 9 volt pedal power supply. It's a small size built into a rugged aluminum enclosure. The guys over at Avenson Audio told me that they tested the enclosure with running over it with a van. I didn't want to try to run over it with my car, but I tried with my bike, and yeah, it works perfectly fine after doing that. The transformer isolated outputs have attenuators for rolling back the output to the amps if necessary. And there's a ground lift switch on the XLR output for getting rid of ground loop hum. The IsoDI is the same internal DI circuitry as the IsoGtr, just without the reamp and three-way splitter feature. So it's a great affordable DI for any musician, recording engineer that doesn't need all the reamping and splitter features. So here we have a little song, a riff that I made so we can test the IsoGtr. The first thing that I did, I made some drum beats and I put some bass on it. So we can take a quick listen and see how that sounds. Just a simple rock beat, and the first thing that I did after recording the bass and making the drums, I recorded through the IsoGtr into my Mr. Tone amp from PD Guitars, and I also did this DI track. So on this track, this is going from the amp into my Torpedo Live, then into my interface and into Logic. So this is a recorded guitar sound that I wanted. And at the same time, I recorded this DI signal. Let's first take a listen and see how this guitar track sounds alone. This is my Fano PX6 with a neck pickup straight into the Mr. Tone and into my Torpedo Live. What I did after that, I used this DI signal, and you can listen to it alone and it sounds like this. Not very pleasant, but it's great for reamping. And what I did, I sent this signal from my DAW into my interface and then into the reamp box. From the reamp box, I went into a different amp. I went into my Tone King Imperial and then again into my 2 notes, and I used a different cab. And then I got this guitar track. So that sounds a lot more pleasant than just the DI, and it's basically like playing the same thing over again into a different amp. After that, I recorded with a different guitar into the same amp as the first one, the Mr. Tone, but with different settings and a different cabinet. And that sounds like this. Then again, I did a DI track of that song and I reamped it through the IsoGtr into another different amp, which sounds like this. So what I have now is 4 different guitar tracks that I want to use. The DIs are muted. I don't need those anymore now, unless I want to do some more reamping. But I have now 4 really good recorded guitar tracks, and what I do, I have panned 2 of them to the right and 2 of them to the left, and then I use the volume control to kind of mix the sound between the 2 of them. And since I've used different amps, different cabinets and different guitars, you get a really thick guitar sound, and it's a very known method of using when you're tracking guitars. So if you first take a listen to the right side, you can listen first with just the first recorded track and then blending together with the reamped signal. So here is just the first track. So the 2 together sounds really good. I had to do some phase inverting on the reamped track because the 2 guitars were out of phase, but now they sound really good. So let's listen to the one on the left side. And all of the 4 tracks together. Now let's listen to everything in a mix. So how do I like these 2? I actually like them both very much. The DI is very simple but still very effective, and I especially like that it's very small and sturdy. The IsoGtr is also very sturdy, of course, and there's quite a few more things that you can do with it. I especially like the splitter function because that's something you can use in many different situations. Of course, the reamping tool is also very great. For me, reamping works for some kind of guitar playing. For more like bluesy and mellower stuff, I would prefer to actually record the guitar again, because your dynamic playing plays a big role in how you sound and how you end up sounding and playing. So, but for more like heavier rock star crunchy guitars, it's very handy when you have the possibility to reamp, and then this is a must-have tool. Reamping itself is a process that you kind of have to learn. You have to learn the routing of your DAW and your interface, but when you get into it, it's really simple, and it's very simple when you use the IsoGtr. So yeah, all in all, I have nothing bad to say about these. I think they will probably last forever regarding in how they are built, and yeah, they are just really handy tools to have in your studio or your home studio. That's important to say because a lot of people are doing more and more stuff at home, and these are really good tools to have in your home studio. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.